What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're checking out the all-new 2026 Toyota Rav4. So this one is the XLE Premium, finished off in Meteor Shower. The MSRP is $36,000. However, we have some distributor options. This one is equipped at $39,900. So just basically some LED light options on this one, as well as the floor mats. So realistically, you could get one without that to keep it a pretty average price point. But the all-new Rav4 pricing honestly really isn't different from last year, even though it's all new. So for some people, I think complaining about price, it's actually pretty reasonable and what you would expect. So for the all-new Rav4, this is only going to be a hybrid. So you're going to get a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder with, of course, that hybrid system. This one is a front-wheel drive model, so net horsepower is 226. The actual engine makes 163 pound-feet of torque. You're going to expect 47 miles per gallon in the city with 40 out on the highway, 14.5 gallon fuel tank, and then curb weight on front-wheel drive is 3,700 pounds. Max towing is 1,700. You also have an eCVT for the transmission, basic prop rod. So taking a look at the styling, the new look is pretty cool, I think. Got this hammerhead shape upper grille section, just a more bold style. Now for the XLE, you just have this silver trim in here with a basic bulb right in there. So no LED running lights like the higher trims. Nice LED headlight. There are parking sensors, some plastic trim throughout it. And then I really like this kind of cheese grater style front grille. I think it looks super cool. Got this black trim piece, your nice Toyota badge. It looks good. It's a lot more modern looking, a very bold style with these nice sharp angles. On the hood, you have these really sharp square sections on each corner, which looks really good. And then I like how we had the angled fender arches. Got the plastic trim, a nice set of 18-inch wheels in a gunmetal color. More plastic trim throughout the whole lower rocker panel. And I particularly love this line. It kind of just cuts upwards and fades towards the rear end. So it's a sharp looking car. You got body color door handles, black mirror caps, integrated turn signal, and then all black trim for the windows, roof rails, and roof racks. No sunroof for this model. And then side profile kind of looks like a typical Rav4, so they've kept a lot of that same proportion, but of course a little bit more bold and angled. Again, you can see just how nice and styled this whole rear section is. You're going to get this cool black trim piece as well, dividing the roof, integrated spoiler, and then the LED taillights look pretty good. So they connect nicely with this gloss black bar. Got the Rav4 logo, all of your badging in chrome, and then just a basic black bumper with all of your parking sensors. Now this one's still going to get a power liftgate, so pressing that button, we can automatically pop that open. Now with the seats up, we have about 37.8 cubic feet of cargo volume, closer to 70 cubic feet of cargo volume once you fold them nice and flat down. There's going to be a storage area on the right side. Got some lighting in here, some hooks as well, and I like how you still have storage down here with a spare tire. So hybrid battery is going to be more located underneath the seats. Got your buttons as well as grab handle up here, fuel cap, and then we can go ahead and take a look at the black SofTex interior. So XLE model, you're going to get plastic on the upper door and then more of a basic vinyl in the center. It is padded, same with the armrest. Higher trim levels like an XSE. This is a much nicer soft touch, and then we have soft touch up here as well. So of course you're going to see that differentiation between the trim levels. You have a nice little recline angle you can adjust. And then for this 3-seat capacity bench row, you have an armrest and cup holders. There's going to be air vents, you have plugs, storage behind these seats, and the recline angle lever is where you then can fold these down. So hopping in at 5'11", driver's seat at my height. I still have good knee room. My feet had to be slid under the seat, but still pretty roomy. I wouldn't mind another inch of height on the seat base, but they're comfortable, they're padded. And then there's plenty of light let in with these massive windows. Good recline angle too. I mean, overall, it's actually a pretty good back seat for this size point. Easily can climb outwards. And then we of course still have a smart key where you can lock and unlock it from the door panel. And then moving on to the front seat, once again, just hard plastic and then this basic vinyl. Nice storage area with a grab handle, all your basic controls. Storage down below, power seats with your adjustment for lumbar, and then the smooth and perforated material throughout these seats. So nice look overall, black leather wrapped steering wheel. And then hopping in, foot on the brake, let's fire it up. So the engine may or may not turn on every time given we have a hybrid. But I got the nice black material on here, this plastic trim down below. And then on the steering wheel itself, we have cruise control on the right side, all of your voice commands, audio controls, and screen control right here. Windshield wipers on the right, headlights and turn signals over on this left side. And then the gauge cluster is pretty simple, but there's a bunch of different presets. So I can continue scrolling over and see a lot of different information all throughout it. So nice and simple. You can configure just a little bit more past that. Interior lighting, tailgate release, harder plastic, and this nice softer vinyl. Now, all the trim around the air vents is like this satin gray, so it actually looks very nice. We have a hard plastic, flatter dashboard trim piece. Once again, this is the nice satin gray color, the soft touch, and then plastic here. You have some storage and the smaller screen. Personally, this is the exact same screen as the bigger one, just smaller, and it actually fits the interior very well. So drive mode, you're gonna see right in the center, which is a nice little touch. You can configure all of this. You have full screen for nav and audio, phone integration, of course, and then all sorts of settings. Of course, you will have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, so you can get that set up nicely. And then climate control is all right in the screen. Honestly, it's actually pretty easy to use, especially since you can kind of rest your hand and make your controls. We have our temperature. You can scroll this up and down for quicker access or use the physical buttons. You have heated seats, your defrost, and all that. So overall, actually really simple. We have a nice reverse camera with your guidelines. You can adjust the view as well. And then you're gonna see hazards and air vents and a drive mode button. So you don't always have to use the screen. It'll just toggle like this. We have an auto LSD traction control icon that's gonna come up as well. You can see all that information. So nice little bit of extra ways to drive this car when needed. EV mode icon right here. So it'll drive in pure electric in slow speeds, which is good for parking lots. One wireless phone charging pad, but still lots of storage down here. 2 USB ports, and then a nice bit of storage in the center with this cup holder. Auto park and brake, and then some padding on the armrests in this satin gray trim as well. Now for the center, we can remove this. We have a nice storage area, but you can also open it both sides. So I can open it one way or from the passenger. Glove box has a pretty good amount of space as expected. And then one last look at the interior. Overall, it's pretty nicely done. Again, this is a more basic one, so a little bit cheaper materials throughout it, but fundamentally you get a lot of this simple stuff that you would expect. Simple headliner, a small sunglass holder, and then we have a basic manual mirror. All right, so setting off now in the Toyota Rav4 XLE. So this is the first time driving a production XLE. Of course, I've checked out some pre-production ones with Toyota and then checked out some XSE models. So this one with just the front wheel drive and everything, honestly, I don't really notice any difference as far as normal driving with front wheel drive. You know, this isn't really that fast of a vehicle. So the front wheel drive, honestly, is gonna be pretty fine for your average owner, especially with the MPG, slightly less weight, things like that. So it drives pretty normal. It's pretty comfortable overall going over kind of a bumpy-ish road. You can feel the bumps. I wouldn't say it's a super plush ride. Definitely does feel a little bit of a step down from the XSE model that I've driven before. So you're gonna notice that it's just kind of an average driving vehicle. The seats are a little bit stiffer as well, but I got them in a pretty good position to where I'm still nice and comfortable. Visibility is really good in the Rav4 in general. You're gonna have no complaints seeing around. You have no blind spots or anything like that. And then armrests are pretty good. Again, a little bit harder, not quite as padded comparing it to the XSE, especially on the door panel. And then this is decently padded, it's all right. So, you know, kind of just a more basic, average style vehicle, I would say. Turning circle is pretty good though, so it's an easy car to maneuver. Of course, with the 360 parking sensors, that really helps quite a lot. Camera is quite nice, and yeah, definitely a nice sharp steering. So with that, in sport mode, so what I like with the eCVT and this hybrid setup, you have instant throttle response given the electronics basically drive the wheels. So as soon as you've kind of floor a little bit, you're already accelerating. You don't have to wait for the engine to turn on, a turbo to spool, or anything like that. It just accelerates. It's not necessarily fast, but it is zippy around town to where it just kind of drives really well. You don't have to wait around for it as far as like average acceleration. If you want a lot more power, there are plug-in hybrids available that really pack a punch. But even this one with the more basic configuration, actually the most basic configuration you can get, you know, it drives really good just to be an around town zippy car. So if you're looking for good MPG, good space, just kind of utilitarian, you know, average small SUV, this really does seem to drive well. The steering feel is still pretty good, even with the front wheel drive version. It's more mechanical than other brands, so I feel like Toyota did a good job making it feel solid. And then the overall just like build quality, it feels really well put together with no loose ends. So I think Toyota did a good job just making this a solid SUV, even if this trim level is a little basic, a little cheaper feeling than the nicer ones. But obviously that's how it goes. You know, higher trim levels are gonna feel nicer, average ones are gonna feel average. But again, just slowly getting back up to speed. Just a nice, normal driving car that I don't think you're gonna complain with. It's something you're gonna get very familiar with very quickly. And even using the interior, I find it really simple. Even with touchscreen climate controls, they're honestly just right there, readily available. So it's pretty simple in here. It's just easy, tons of good storage, good legroom too, good headroom. Really just a good benchmark, and in this trim level, just kind of a good average car.